Hello guys, I'm going to a new YouTube video for today. As you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to review honestly by the lazy thumbnail, Mortal Kombat SNES version, small review, hopefully. Well, before I get to the review, I would like to say my small quick introduction to Mortal Kombat, the legendary fighting game. Um, in Mexico, I grew up in Mexico. One of my cousins had I was a kid when the Super Nintendo and the Sega were still around, when they were like almost extinct. And one of my cousins had Mortal Kombat 3 on the Sega at his house. And honestly, in fact, Mortal Kombat 3 was the first title that I've played of Mortal Kombat before I got into Mortal Kombat. And I played it. He was playing as Cyrax. I fell in love with the character. Cyrax fans, let's go. And that's how I got into Mortal Kombat because of Mortal Kombat 3. Even though in my opinion, it's like Mortal Kombat 3 is like, the combo system. But anyway, Mortal Kombat Super Nintendo version. Well, I grew up with the Super Nintendo a bit growing up because my cousin from here, from America, he had the Super Nintendo with the Mortal Kombat game, and we tried it, and I had a lot of fun. And then a bit later, I was playing Mortal Kombat on the original format, aka the arcade, and well, I didn't know that there were ports, just like a version of here, but here. But now I know that it's just ports. But for the Super Nintendo, I gotta say that it's really similar to the arcade version, but obviously with differences, like no violence. I mean, like we have sweat instead of blood. And at first I thought that it was spit, but it's sweat. I think it's confirmed that it's sweat. But and also the some fatalities are censored, like Sub Zero, instead of ripping out your spine, he just like freezes you and punches you. Kano, instead of ripping your heart out, sorry, he like grabs like an invisible heart. I mean, like obviously, like you can see the total edit for the Super Nintendo version. But overall, it plays good. The sound is good. The stages designs are good. Really close to the arcade version, the original format, obviously. But I've also seen some versions of the Sega version on YouTube, and I'm thinking of making a separate video about the differences between the Super Nintendo and the Sega version. For those of you who are watching this video and don't know the differences, because I know that many of you who are watching this video may know the differences, but for my video from some other time, it's going to be me reacting to a video on YouTube that compares everything between the Super Nintendo and the Sega version. But I kind of grew up with both growing up, like half and half, you know. But the Super Nintendo version, I really like it. I like how the characters look, and I think there's like a term for it, which obviously they don't look realistic, but the graphics look, the character models look, like kind of like photorealistic, which I think is because I think it's by Sculpture Software. I think like when you put in the cartridge and you put like you see like the company's name, and even though the music, and I'm not gonna say Mortal Kombat is one of those like fighting games that has like really great and catchy music. Bravo Midway for really great music. And for the Super Nintendo version, many don't really like it. I think because they're just biased if some people grew up with the Sega version. But in my opinion, it's good. It's kind of fuzzy, like kind of like the GBA sound chip or something. That's kind of like fuzzy, but it still sounds really good. I mean, like I really like the soundtrack from the Super Nintendo version. The Sega version, to me, it's kind of iffy because it sounds more like high pitched than the normal arcade version. I gotta check on that. I'm gonna listen to the arcade soundtrack and then to the Sega and see, because in my opinion, I think the Sega music for Mortal Kombat is a bit more like high pitched than the original. But for the Super Nintendo, it's a really great port. I really like it. And Mortal Kombat, the first one, obviously from this review, is when I fell in love with my favorite male ninja, Reptile. There, I said it. Reptile is my favorite character. Sorry, Scorpion fans. But overall, it's a great port from the arcade. Yeah, like censored stuff, but like the gameplay is phenomenal, you know. It's close to the arcade version, but you know, it's phenomenal. Um Really great, and again, in my opinion, like the music is really good, even though some people don't really like it because I again biased because of the Sega version. You know, this console war. People are still fighting over the Super Nintendo and the Sega, but it's kind of dying down anyway. But overall, for the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat, I give it a 4 out of 5. It's really great, and I'm not being biased. I grew up with half Super Nintendo and half Sega, but for Mortal Kombat, I played it obviously on the Super Nintendo. If I had the Sega growing up and I played Mortal Kombat, I would have said that both versions are great because they are, you know. So the Super Nintendo has some positive sides. The Sega has some positive sides, some negative sides on the Super Nintendo, negative sides on the Sega, but overall, great port from the arcade for both consoles. I'm just gonna say right there, good good port for Super Nintendo and Sega. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, guys, peace.